Prime Minister Christie not mincing words as he tells a regional body in Miami, Florida, the seriousness of illegal immigration and the immigration policy's effect on the Bahamas. I'm Clint Watson. The stories ahead in the Bahamas tonight.
Plus, the Free National Movement and Convention as the race for a leader intensifies. ZNS News is live.
And the country celebrates Women's Week. The Bahamas tonight. The National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
In wake of mounting criticism on the enforcement of its new immigration policy, the country's leader says he has made several suggestions to immigration officials. Good evening, I'm Opal Roach.
And I'm Candino Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Well, this comes as he's admitted that the policy needs tweaking, but government is not flinching in its position that it must protect the country's borders.
Now, the Prime Minister was the keynote speaker at the 38th Annual Conference on the Caribbean and Central Americas in Miami, Florida today.
Clint Watson tonight is in Miami with the story you will see only on ZNS.
Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie setting the record straight that his government is behind the immigration policy and is ensuring it's carried out in the most humane fashion.
Unfortunately, we don't want agencies that we are members of and take pride in being members of to be able to mischaracterize policies of our country and in our country and confuse the truth.
Mr. Christie says while the Bahamas is doing well and on the way to recovery and growth, we're still faced with this mushrooming problem.
My job was to come here and to be very strong and purposeful in terms of the Bahamas and what we're doing in the Bahamas, that as a sovereign nation, we're doing what other nations do in the same way other nations doing it. In the United States of America, the Americans are building a wall, right, in terms of that. We don't have the resources, and we're an island nation, we can't build a wall. But we had to spend $238 million on boats.
Speaking to the recent immigration enforcement, we now know that some children have been detained at the Jamaica Road Detention Center. Mr. Christie explained why.
And they're there because they're not to be separated from their mothers. And as she spoke, I spoke to the director of immigration, and maybe, again, because these are evolving issues of concern and people looking at it from outside do not understand it.
The Organization of American States has been critical in the Bahamas' policy. Speaking with a Jamaican newspaper, a senior official spoke to the issue. However, in a twist of fate, the Prime Minister happened to be in the company at the conference of the Assistant Secretary General of the Organization of American States, the Ambassador Albert Ramden. He told ZNS News following the presentation by the Prime Minister that he listened carefully to what the Prime Minister had to say. He said they look forward to the presentation at the OAS in Washington by the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
The Bahamas is a valuable member of the Organization of American States, and I don't see any reason to dispute that. This is exactly the reason why I believe that it is important for the government of the Bahamas at a high political level to provide the information as they wish to present it to the member states of the organization so that there is no confusion or any kind of other interpretation than what the facts and the reality is.
And government will continue its crusade in the United States of America on Saturday evening. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, will be here in Miami to meet with Bahamians living here as well as officials to discuss the policy. He'll then head to Washington, D.C., where he'll have a meeting with the Organization of American States to talk about the issue there. In downtown Miami, Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Clint. In other news tonight, Free National Movement delegates from across the country cast ballots today in hopes of reshaping the future of that party's leadership.
Janae Noel Ferguson was at the convention this morning as candidates were nominated for various posts.
Free National Movement members converging at the Holy Trinity Activities Center for its one-day convention. Scores of party supporters packed the center in party colors as they prepare to nominate persons for the various posts, then cast their vote for the leadership of the party along with other executive members. FNM leader Dr. Hubert Minnis is being challenged by his deputy, MP for Long Island Loretta Butler Turner, for the top post. Both are confident.
Very great today. I've done my work. What you're seeing here today is a great, transparent, democratic process.
At the end of the day, we have an opponent. That opponent is not in this room. That opponent is the PLP. The DNA obviously did take a lot of votes from us in the last election. Our agenda, I would feel as leader of this party, should I prevail, would be to reach out to all those disaffected FNMs. It'll also be to reach out to many PLPs that feel very disaffected by the government of the day.
Meanwhile, FNM Chairman Darren Cash, Deputy Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands, and East Grand Bahama MP Peter Turnquest are seeking the deputy leader's post.
Whomever the delegates decide will be carrying the torch. We will all line up behind that individual.
And certainly whoever the leader is coming out of this convention is going to require a strong deputy that can speak on the issues, that can represent the party in Parliament and bring a sense of unity and team.
FNM Senator Michael Pintard is throwing his name in the ring for the post of party chairman.
There is this sense that things are not improving under the Progressive Liberal Party and are in fact getting worse. And so people are calling out for leadership, and I believe through this convention we are answering that call.
Supporters shared their views on whom they believe the torch should be passed on to.
The Minnis, I think he is more of a, and I don't know if it's because he's a doctor, but he seems to have more passion.
For choosing Loretta Butler Turner, she's a woman with power. She has a vision. She has fire. She is a people's person. She knows how to meet the grassroots people.
If you're going to win a baseball game, you send your strongest batter to bat, or the one who can hit the home run, not the one who can get strike out. And I say right now, today's it's a defining moment in the FNM. It's going to determine if we are serious about being the government or not.
The convention ends tonight, and supporters say whoever comes out on top must be a force to be reckoned with going into the 2017 general elections. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
The leadership race continued at the Holy Trinity Activity Center this afternoon. Cleopatra Murphy spoke with members and supporters who say after the votes are in, the party must unite and rebuild.
Former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Ingram, says he will not return to frontline politics. His comments came shortly after arriving at the Holy Trinity Activities Center, where voting was underway to determine the next leader of the Free National Movement. Ingram would not share who he supported, but says the party offered good candidates. The election, he says, is important to settle some of the issues within the party as it prepares for 2017.
The FNM is preparing itself, and this is all a part of the process, and continue to prepare itself to become the next government of the Bahamas. We think that the people of the Bahamas, having looked at what they voted for the last time, have determined in their mind that they want to have something different, and we are offering the FNM as a different thing.
Former Ambassador to the U.S. Joshua Sayers nominated Dr. Hubert Minnis, while former Minister of National Security Tommy Turnquest nominated Loretta Butler Turner for leader. Turnquest says it is vital that the party makes the right choice to regain supporters that grew disenchanted with the FNM.
I feel that she would do a good job. I think she has the political acumen, the attributes necessary to unite and excite our party, and also to be the best person at this time to go to the Bahamian people.
Candidate for chairman, former Minister of State for Environment Fenton Nemore, also weighed in on the significance of the game-changing leadership race.
I think it's also important how we come out of it, how we recover from the fact that we have now a deputy leader running against a leader. But I think that the FNM is up to the task, and I think we'll come out of this election unified and prepared to face the PLP.
One of the many supporters packing the center today was Sandra Cook, who says she believes in the vision of Loretta Butler Turner.
And I think we need some new vision, new direction, new ideas, and something totally different. Why not a woman? It's been a man since conception of time in politics. Why not a woman?
While party members say they have their preferences as to who will move the F&M forward, they say it is critical that when the convention ends, the party puts up a united front to regain the government in 2017. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
News is brought to you by Shell Ultra Low Sulfur Diesel.